bear. People. Yeah, that's better. Welcome back to Arcade. I am Super Tommy, and this is part 5 of a series in making memory match in Phaser Editor 2D. Now, Memory Match is a Mario Party inspired memory game where you move a character around like this to find matches by selecting boxes. And now Phaser 2D is a editor in the browser for making phaser games. So in the last 4 parts, we covered using the editor, uploading assets to your project, creating components, creating prefabs, using those components and prefabs to lay out our scene here in our level.scene. So do go check those older videos, those previous videos for more information about prefabs, components, using the editor, and all that stuff. Now we're going to implement the bear or Bowser in the Mario Party version of this game, where when you select the box with the bear in it, you're going to be frozen. The player will be frozen for 1 second and can't move. Let's go back to our tutorial here written just to see what we're planning to do. We did the open box a little bit differently than this tutorial using components. So we're going to handle bear selected if item type is 0. But in our case, you see here, in our case, because we have a different setup, we can do it in an even more readable way. So here, so if item holder dot item name equals bear, return, we are going to do this dot handle bear selected. Let's just do that, handle bear selected. Save that, come back here with this handle bear selected method do. Okay, seems good. Let's copy that. Let's put it right here, handle bear selected. So we are going to get the selected boxes. Okay, so we know this item, we don't actually need this item, so we're actually going to just delete that. If you watch the previous part, the way we're doing it with the components, we just don't need this item added here, so we're just going to delete this from this object, and then when we open a box, a little cleaning up here, if we open a box, we're only going to push the box. Save, so handle bear selected, there is in fact no item. So to do this, we are going to actually, let's put it into item holder. Right, so we are going to do, let's call set tint, so tint, and then if not display, we're going to tint the display. If this dot not display, return, otherwise this dot display dot set tint, and it's going to be tint. Now let's go back out here. So what we're going to do is const item holder. This is going to hold the reference to the item holder component, item holder.get component on the box. And then we're going to do item holder.setTint. And then the box is going to be set texture of the red box. Go to the asset pack JSON. This is crate03. That's the one we want. Crate03. Player, we have that. So we're going to want body, this dot player dot body. Since our player, if you watched in part 1, is a normal sprite where we injected the physics components into it, so it does not actually have the dot set velocity method. Type, it's going to be phaser.physics.arcade.body. So this just tells it to stop moving. Delayed call item holder, set tint, so set frame 10. So this is in return to normal. So set texture, and normal texture is going to be the steel colored crate 06. Crate 06. And then we don't need this at all because the item holder handles whether a box is open or closed depending on the tween that we're using. So we have this state, the visible state that we're setting here. So when we have reveal, we set it to visible true, and then we tween it up, and then when we hide, we tween it down and then set visible to false. So that's how we're determining whether an item is revealed or not, but this getter property is revealed. Now go back to level. So we don't need that add property on the data manager of the game object. And in fact, we don't need this. We will want this player active equals true. So we're going to do item holder.hide. And just like reveal, where we had added a callback, we can do the same thing in hide. Let's add a callback. And we'll just copy this JS doc, it's the same. Hide, it could be null, and what we're going to do is if callback, we're going to call that callback, save that, go here, we're going to do our hide, however the item holder wants to do a hide, and then in our callback, we're going to reactivate the player, so then we can delete this. Okay, so that's selecting the bear, that seems right. Okay. Okay. So now the next thing we need to do is in our movement component that if player.active, if not active, we just don't want to allow movement. That's good. Now let's just run this, see if we forgot anything. We get errors if we did. Here's the bear. Let's move. Can't move. Goes back. Now I can move. Okay. So that's pretty good. Let's just update this timing a little bit. Level.js here. I feel like it should set the tint. We should do all that at the end, right? Do the hide and then do all that. Let's try it. Bear. Evil. Yeah, that's better. So that's the bear, and you can compare the amount of code that we're going to have in this version versus the original tutorial version. We're going to have a lot less code, largely due to these components and be able to reuse a lot of things, given that we have components. So now that we have the bear, let's check for all the matches found. We're going to do the same very simple check of just for. Oops. See, let's go up here into our level at the top in the constructor. Let's add a new property, matches count to this class, this.matches count. And then for every time we have a match, we want to do this. And there's a match in check for match. When this is the case, we have one extra match. And then if we have 4 matches, we're going to throw up a little dialog here. All right, let's add that. So actually, let's see, check for match. Where was that? Right under here. Okay, if for game 1, so same thing here. We, in fact, could do, instead of doing this, this const body, this dot player dot body, and then giving a type, is to actually add this to the movement component, given that the movement component, or I did the physics component, and do physics.getComponent player, and then get the body off of the physics component, so that it's already typed for us. I will leave that to you to do as an exercise in using components here. So let's do that. Now body, set velocity to 0. We're going to add this text. This is all good. Okay. Let's come here. All right, one penguin. The duck. This duck is over here. Chicken, I think I'll put the chicken up here. And then this is the parrot. I missed it. I thought I could hit it without seeing. And you win. All right. Okay, that's mostly right. The only other thing is, just to make sure it's above everyone, so depth 5,000. Okay. So I think that is actually part 5. Is there anything else in this tutorial for part 5? No. Okay. That's part 5. You saw that we used item holder component and handling the bear, tinting the display, and doing all that in Phaser Editor 2D with the component paradigm. So in the next part, we're gonna do the final thing. We're gonna add a countdown timer. So you're gonna get to see another use of the component pattern for implementing a countdown timer. In the original series, you see that it uses a controller, so that should be interesting. Come back for that in part 6.